Dear brothers and sisters, Shalom. Greetings from the Israel Field Office in Jerusalem. We are praying for each one of you, for your strength, courage, health, and peace. The times we are living right now are challenging. So many people lost their jobs. Health issues are everywhere. A big percentage of the population experience financial hardships. And this is not related exclusively to Israel. According to OECD, the world economy is at risk. The good news is that the government started to ease the confinement measures. According to the information we received today, and in close contact with the officers of the General Conference, as well as with the pastors of the Israel Field, we came to the conclusion that the current legislation is allowing us to have worship services, but with some rigorous temporary limitations that are penalizing our activities. Our worship places are very small, and if we want to maintain the safety distance of 2 meters radius, very few worshipers can attend our meetings. In addition, if we multiply worship sessions in order to accommodate all those who are members of our churches, after each session, after each worship, the extensive cleaning is mandatory. And in doing so, we will spend more time cleaning than worshiping. It is also clear that we cannot have our potlucks as usually, as long as the temporary limitations are in place. Therefore, we came to the following conclusion. We will continue to do our Zoom worship services as it is the case right now, until the new instructions coming from the Israel government eliminating the mandatory distance of 2-meter radius are modified. Second, there will be no meetings in our churches and no meetings of youth or Pathfinder sections before Friday, May 29. We will give you more details regarding other activities for the upcoming summit through the pastoral information. Third, Israel Field pastors will make sure that all local churches have a Corona coordinator in order to be ready for the opening of our worship places. They will also verify that all churches have necessary hygiene products available before the beginning of our regular worship service. So wherever you are right now and you are listening this message, please be patient. Things are improving. We are almost ready, but it is not yet the case. We just want to encourage you to stay healthy and to plan in contact with your local pastor your comeback to regular worship services very soon. Also, we encourage you to follow the instructions of the government regarding the end of the quarantine. We don't want to play heroes and to contest the existing legislation. What we need is mainly the attitude inspired by the wisdom from above. And we are so proud when we see strong support of all our members who acted with exemplarity during this coronavirus pandemic. As you can see, the day is coming to worship again together. Be joyful and ready to honor God in all circumstances and in all cases. Carefully follow the instructions of the government and of your pastor. Let me conclude with a spiritual note. First, coronavirus quarantine is an ideal time for prayer. Through prayer, we are not alone. I'm so excited when I see our churches participating in the program called 100 Days of Prayer. Please meet your brothers and sisters through Skype, Zoom, and other technological devices. Let's intercede for sick people, for medical staff, and their tremendous contribution to our safety, and for the General Conference and our churches across the world. Second, be faithful to God. We really appreciate the remarkable financial support of our churches in the past. However, you need to be informed of our current situation. Through God's grace and through the respect of the church policy, the Israel Field Administration was able to use the mandatory reserves in order to honor its obligations and to pay the salaries of its employees, even without regular meetings and financial contribution during the quarantine time. But right now, we need you. Thank you in advance for what you are doing for God's work and for the spirit of sacrifice that we see on a regular basis. Be faithful, and God's promises will be true for you and your families. Third aspect, be compassionate. Don't forget that at the end of time, Jesus will not question our doctrinal knowledge. The only standard is our attitude toward those who are in need. When you did this to one of your brothers, you did it to me, said Jesus. Number 4, stay safe. Respect the decisions of the government in order to maintain your health. God needs you, and we need you with energy, courage, and readiness to serve. And the last element, trusting God. Don't panic. Ellen White said so well, we have nothing to fear regarding the future, if not to forget the way the Lord has led us in the past. May the peace of God dwell in our heart, in our families, and in our communities. I'm so glad for the opportunity God gave us to have again our regular time of worship and fellowship. May we be ready to proclaim peace and hope of Jesus soon coming. Maranatha.
Peace be unto you, our dear members of the Seventh-day Adventist congregations in the country of Israel. All of us are affected with the inception of the coronavirus known as COVID-19. It started in Wuhan, China, as an epidemic, but later on became a pandemic that affected the whole world. It has a negative impact to the lives of the people as well as to the economy of all business organizations around the world. Our church organization is not exempted. Almost all of our church members have no work. It means no income and no sufficient supply of food. But don't worry. If God is with us, something better is going to happen. There was famine in the land of Israel for 3 years and 6 months. There was no rain from heaven. The scorching heat of the sun destroyed the vegetation. Streams dried up. Animals wandered in distress. The groves are leafless. The trees afford no shade. The once prosperous cities and villages became places of sorrow. But God directed Prophet Elijah to stay in the brook of Cherith. The ravens supplied him with food in the morning and another food in the evening. God never abandoned his servant. He supplied him the basic necessities of life. He will do the same to us church members because something better is going to happen. Then Elijah moved to Zarephath and met the widow of Zarephath. There were many widows in Jerusalem, but why Elijah went to Zarephath? There the Lord performed a miracle. The bin of flour and the jar of oil was full to the brim, enough supply to let this family survive the famine. God will do the same to us church members because something better is going to happen. Given the prevailing situation, we have to revise the 2020 budget. In the revision, we adopted 85% of the 2019 actual tithe income. The reduction amounted to 404,696.78 shekels. It is a huge amount. To balance the budget, we reduced the administrative and office expenses, general, departmental, and allocated expenses, plant operation and maintenance expenses. Still, we cannot balance the budget. Finally, we reduced the travel allowance, medical allowance, and scrap the equipment allowance. We hope the lockdown will soon be over. We hope God will make a divine intervention and bless our financial operation for the remaining months of this year. We hope our church members will constantly support our operation through tithes and offerings. We hope it will be accomplished because we believe that something better is going to happen. Jesus attended a wedding in Cana. The wine ran out. Jesus performed a miracle. He turned the water into wine. When the master of the feast tasted the wine, it was a better wine compared to the previous wine. If we allow Jesus to be with us, He will live up to His promise that something better is going to happen. He will turn our adversity into prosperity. Let us remain faithful in the use of our time and the distribution of our financial resources. Let us make God as first priority in our lives. He admonished all of us, seek God first and His righteousness, and all those things will be added unto us. Remember, something better is going to happen.